So how will humanity evolve? Natural selection? Genetic drift? Divine intervention? Probably not. Most futurists agree that the most likely way for humanity to fundamentally change is by our own hand, by design. And today, we're looking at the ultra-modern labs and basement workshops that are redefining our natural limits. A world where biohackers and visionary scientists are pursuing human enhancement, creating abilities that were once the domain of science fiction, from night vision to embedded technology. But as we venture into this brave new world, we'll also be asking how it affects you. Have you ever wondered if you could have the memory of a supercomputer or the strength of a professional athlete? Or if your own biological code could be rewritten to eliminate disease? As our understanding of biology becomes more and more advanced, have you ever stopped to think of the risks? I will warn you now, your life will probably be simpler if you don't watch this video. Sometimes, the familiar is comfortable, and you'll be happier not knowing what's brewing in the petri dish. Because once we decode this genetic sequence, there's no going back. I hardly ever thought about my own biological limits. I used to just accept aches, pains, and the need for glasses as a part of getting older, a natural decline I couldn't do anything about. I'd always think, why fight the inevitable? What's the point of trying to change our fundamental nature? If you can relate, then by the end of this video, I guarantee you'll have changed your mind about what it means to be human. But let's start at the beginning. There are all kinds of ways we try to improve ourselves, from diet and exercise to education and therapy. There will always be a drive for self-improvement, but what we're talking about today is something different, something more profound. It's about hacking the source code of life itself. This is the world of biohacking, a broad and sometimes controversial movement that encompasses everything from simple dietary changes to implanting computer chips under the skin and editing our own DNA. At one end of the spectrum, you have people optimizing their bodies through carefully controlled nutrition, supplements, and lifestyle adjustments. They track their sleep, monitor their blood markers, and use data to push their physical and mental performance to its peak. Think of Silicon Valley executives trying to gain a cognitive edge, or athletes fine-tuning their bodies for that extra 1%. This is often called biooptimization. And while it's fascinating, it's just the tip of the iceberg. The real revolution, the part that blurs the line between human and machine, between natural and artificial, lies much deeper. This is where we meet the grinders. These are the true pioneers, the DIY cyborgs who are not content with the bodies they were born with. They perform surgical procedures on themselves in their own homes, embedding magnets into their fingertips to feel electromagnetic fields, or implanting RFID chips into their hands to unlock doors and store data with a simple wave. They see the human body as a platform, a piece of hardware that can and should be upgraded. One of the most famous examples is a biohacker who injected a substance called chlorin E6 into his eyes, giving himself a temporary and terrifying form of night vision, allowing him to see in near total darkness. He was literally redefining the limits of human senses. These grinders are operating in a gray area, pushing the boundaries of medicine, ethics, and the law. They share their findings in online forums, collaborate on new implants, and risk infection and bodily harm in the pursuit of a post-human future. To them, the human form is obsolete, a version 1.0 in desperate need of an upgrade. They are not waiting for corporations or governments to grant them new abilities. They are taking evolution into their own hands, one painful, self-administered modification at a time. It's a radical act of personal autonomy, but it raises profound questions. Where do we draw the line? If you can implant a key, why not a credit card? If you can implant a credit card, why not a smartphone? At what point does the enhancement stop being a tool and start changing who you are? But the most powerful and potentially world-altering form of biohacking isn't happening in basements with magnets and scalpels. It's happening in sophisticated laboratories with a technology called CRISPR. CRISPR-Cas9 is essentially a pair of molecular scissors that allows scientists to edit DNA with unprecedented precision. It can find a specific gene, cut it out, and replace it with another one. This technology holds the key to curing genetic diseases that have plagued humanity for millennia, like cystic fibrosis, Huntington's disease, and sickle cell anemia. We are on the verge of being able to delete these diseases from our species' gene pool forever. The potential for good is almost unimaginable. Imagine a world where no child is born with a devastating genetic disorder. That world is now within our reach. However, these same molecular scissors that can cure disease can also be used for enhancement. If you can edit a gene to fix a defect, you can also edit a gene to improve a healthy person. Why stop at curing muscular dystrophy when you could, theoretically, edit genes to grant someone superhuman strength? Why just prevent genetic blindness when you could bestow eagle-like vision? This is the slippery slope of designer babies. The technology exists, or will very soon, to select traits for our offspring. Eye color, height, intelligence, and athletic ability could all become a matter of parental choice, a transaction. This creates a terrifying ethical minefield. Would this lead to a new form of class division, a genetic apartheid? A world where the wealthy can afford to enhance their children, creating a new superclass of stronger, smarter, healthier humans, while the rest of humanity is left behind as naturals. This isn't science fiction. In 2018, a scientist in China announced he had created the world's first gene-edited babies, claiming he had altered their DNA to make them resistant to HIV. The global scientific community reacted with outrage, not just because of the immense safety risks, but because he had crossed a monumental ethical line. He had altered the human germline, meaning the changes he made could be passed down to all future generations. He opened Pandora's box, and we are all still grappling with the consequences. The implications are staggering. We are not just talking about changing an individual. We are talking about directing the future of human evolution. Who gets to decide what a better human is? What traits are desirable? Who gives consent for a change that will affect countless future generations? These are not just scientific questions. They are the most profound philosophical questions we have ever faced. The choices we make in the next few decades regarding technologies like CRISPR will define what it means to be human for centuries to come. So, where does this leave you? You might not be implanting magnets in your fingertips or editing your own DNA, but this world is coming for you, whether you like it or not. The medicines you take in the future will be personalized to your unique genetic code. The debate over genetic enhancement will dominate headlines and political campaigns. Your insurance company might one day want to see your genetic profile before they cover you. Your employer might favor candidates with cognitive enhancement genes. The very definition of health and disability will be up for debate. We are standing at a crossroads in human history. One path leads to a future free from genetic disease, where we have conquered some of our oldest biological enemies. The other path leads to a fractured society, defined by genetic haves and have-nots, where the essence of our shared humanity is eroded. The power to write our own biological destiny is the greatest power we have ever held. It is the power to become gods, or to engineer our own obsolescence. The conversation about what we should do with this power is the most important conversation of our time, and it needs to happen now, not in a secret lab or a government boardroom, but with all of us. Because the future of our species is at stake. The question is no longer can we, but should we? And once we open that vault, there's no going back.